Another one of my live stream lectures. And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. And my channel truly would not be where it's at today without all my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is get a certification or licensure, meaning a credential in something. That's power, people. You know, I don't care if it's a certification as an auto mechanic or certified electrician, certified cosmetologist, a licensed therapist, licensed a registered nurse, attorney, doctor, pharmacy. It's any kind of profession that requires going through a process where you are sitting for a credentialing, where you're sitting for taking a test for a board. Some credentials require advanced degrees, not all of them. You know, for example, I'm a licensed therapist, so of course with that, it requires a master's degree and a whole lot of other training and sitting for a test by passing a board, bottom line. But there are so many professions out there where you can get certified a license in, and depending on what your interest is. And you know, although I fully retired September 2023, actually next month I make 2 full years I've been fully retired. I still maintain all of my clinical credentials as a licensed addiction expert. I'm licensed in 3 different states. But I tell anybody, you know, even in retirement, I still make money under my credential, under my company. I have a home office. And even throughout my working history, I've always made money outside of my day job utilizing my credential and making money under my company. Make no mistake. But now, you know, since I'm fully retired, I typically book my clients 2 days out the week. But I say that to say I am still generating revenue in retirement based off utilizing my professional credential. I've done many things under my company where I made money, and I still make money utilizing my credential. I do a lot of consulting. You know, companies have to pay me when they're calling me in as an addiction expert for consultation or training or supervision. Real talk, people. And I've always generated money utilizing my powerful credentials under my company. And you can do that with any kind of credential. I don't care. I have a niece who's a registered nurse. With a licensure as a registered nurse, you can do many things with that outside of your day job. You can do training, you can do consulting, or you can charge people who are going through nursing school who may want to seek you out for guidance in passing that nursing board. You can use your knowledge and skills to make money. I've made lots of money under my company throughout my journey when other professionals seek me out who are going through the credentialing process to become a licensed addiction counselor, a licensed therapist, but they got to pass that board. They got to pass that powerful exam. And because I have gone through that door, I've made a lot of money under my credential in setting up training where I'm presenting material on tips and strategies on how to pass that credentialing board, because many people fail that board. And that's just one example of how I made money throughout my career, making money under my company, even in retirement. Even in any profession can do this. You can be a licensed cosmetology. You got your licensure, you're making your money as a cosmetologist, but you can also make more money by training people to prepare for that exam, to pass that cosmetology board or whatever. Or a lot of times people pay money to know what steps they got to go through to get credential. It's just so many directions you can go when you possess a credential, people. Think of your credential as a business commodity. Because make no mistake, I do also the DOT evaluations, where when them truckers fail that drug screen and their employer may have to refer them to me because they have to get that substance abuse evaluation to go through a process to qualify to return back to the safety sensitive function, meaning driving that truck. So they have to pay a fee. They ain't getting in front of me and I'm doing that powerful evaluation based off my powerful credential and taking them through the steps in the process to make them eligible to return back to the safety sensitive function. And there's certain documents I have to submit to FMCSA to have evidence that the person is in compliance. So there's no way I'm going to provide those type of services free, people. No, because it takes money, number one, to maintain my credentials. I have to have continuing education hours to maintain that powerful credential. I have to carry professional liability insurance to do what I do as an expert in the amount of $3 million. So what I look like providing those services for free? You ain't gonna go to no doctor free. You ain't gonna go to no licensed attorney free. So you definitely ain't gonna get no free service from a licensed expert addiction specialist in the field of addiction. It don't work like that. So I say that to say, if you, whatever career you in, I'll tell people, think about also looking into a career that has a certification or licensure to back it up. Because once you pass that board, that certification board, that licensure board, and you now have been conferred that credential, still have your W-2 job, because I fully retired, so I get a couple of pensions for the rest of my life, but still, I'm continuing to make money in retirement utilizing my credentials when I'm getting these referrals from these employers who truck driver may have failed that drug screen, or people may hire me on a consultant basis to get into compliance. So think of that credential. I think of my credential, and I always have, as a business commodity, because it is. It is a business commodity. I have to maintain that credential. I have to stay abreast of all of the knowledge in the field of addiction. I have to re-credential every 2 years. I have to carry professional liability insurance. So I have to take ongoing continuing education throughout the year and pay for all of that training to stay on top of my game, people. Real talk. My name is out there. The last 25 years of my working history, simultaneously, I also had my company, still got my company, was making money under my credential, under my company, outside of that day job. So I understand the power of multiple streams of income, but it's even more power when you are making money off your credential, your talents, your knowledge, your skills, and your business. Real talk. And that's the beauty of that. My company is 25 plus years old. Started my company 25 years ago, simultaneously working in the workforce until I fully retired September of 2023. So in the field of addiction, my name is out there, on the who's list. But I paid my dues. I got the credentials to back them up. I'm licensed in 3 different states. I'm licensed as an addiction expert in the state of North Carolina. I'm licensed in the state of Georgia. I'm licensed in the state of Virginia. And I'm also hold a federal credential to do what I do as an addiction expert in dealing with the FMCSA motor carrier when those truck drivers, because it is not optional that they take those pre-employment drug screens or reasonable suspicion drug screens or post-accident drug screens or random drug screens. It is not optional that that truck driver do those things. No, it is mandatory by the federal guidelines. And the minute they fail that drug screen, whether it's alcohol or other drugs, that company have to immediately remove that truck driver from under that wheel. And if they don't, DOT can shut that company down and cite them severely. And that truck driver will be prohibited from driving until they go through the DOT return to duty process. And a big part of that is getting evaluated by someone who has that powerful credential, that addiction credential, to do that evaluation and level of care recommendation so they can be qualified to return back to the safety sensitive position. That's where I come in. And I do ongoing marketing for those services. I do supervision, coaching and training. I train other licensed addiction experts, specialists who may want to get the knowledge and skills and go through the process to pass that exam to do what I do at the federal level. Because you got to understand there's the state license, there's a national license, and then it's that federal credential to do what I do. I have all three credentials at the state, national, and federal level. But in order to do that DOT piece with the FMCSA, you got to hold a federal credential at a very high level to do that. I'm pretty much shoulder to shoulder with a medical doctor when it comes to doing that specific type of work and holding a certain type of credential to do what I do. You can't just be no regular licensed therapist if you ain't that federal piece. Real talk, people. So you better believe I'm going to market that. You better believe I'm going to be making money through consulting and meeting with clients and meeting with employers. Real talk, because when they call me in, when these employers call me in, or if I'm getting calls from consult, I'm charging for my knowledge, skills, and ability. Because number one, they gotta call the person who possesses the credential, number one. And ain't nobody just laying around with credentials at that level. So I've always made money utilizing my credential under my company throughout the last 25 years, people, of my working history. I'm in the process right now of doing some behind the scenes stuff to get ready to present a training material to the credentialing board, where my name will go on a list at the board level in the state of Georgia to provide that training for a fee, of course, for other addiction experts who want to get that level of credential. Real talk, people. And that's what I mean by there's so many layers of ways I can make money off my credential. And I've done that throughout my 25-year history under my company. Rather, it ain't all just making money with that client in front of me. I'm making money through consultation, interfacing with employers. I'm making money through providing training to other addiction experts who want to get at my level. So there's many ways I'm making money based off utilizing that powerful credential. But you better believe I got to have the knowledge, the skills, and the credential to back it up. And I can back it up, people. Real talk. So anybody can do this, especially if you have some type of certification or licensure. I don't care if it's a certified CDL driver, or a licensed therapist, or a licensed nurse, or a licensed attorney, a licensed cosmetology, a licensed mechanic. Use your knowledge and skills outside of that day job to generate as much money as you want to generate. There's no limit to the amount of money I can make under my company. Real talk, people. There's no limit, because the need is always going to be to think about it. Trucking make this big old world go around, folks. And them truck drivers selling those drug screens, especially those random drug screens, left and right. This trucking industry make this world, and if they fail that drug screen, they have two options. They can contact the qualified substance abuse evaluator, that DOT evaluator who can take them through the process to make them qualified to return back to the safety sensitive position, because there's certain documents, information I have to submit in a clearinghouse to DOT. So they're looking at my stuff. They're going to know if the person went through the process. So they can either go through the process to become eligible to return back to the safety sensitive position as a truck driver, or they can just find them another job. As long as they are out of compliance, the minute they fail that drug screen and they become out of compliance, their name go into a federal database. So it's not like they can go to another state and say, I'm just going to get a truck driver with another company. No, your name going to pop up in terms of being out of compliance. Anywhere in this country, that name's going to pop up until you go through the process. So they can either go through the process to get back into compliance or find them another career, bottom line. Ain't no back and forth with this. So I tell anybody, get certified or licensed in something. You still got your W-2 job until you work your way up the ranks or retire or whatever, or you can have your little company on the side simultaneously, or you can have your company full-time or based off making money, utilizing your, however you want to do it. But bottom line, it gives its power when you can have the power to choose to use your certification or your licensure, which is a business commodity, to generate revenue outside of that day job. So that's all I have. Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.